Well, do I dare? There does seem to be some breeze working in now. It's from the right direction, basically from the south. And we have been becalmed, or nearly becalmed, since midnight last night. And it is now 3 in the afternoon on April 13th, Wednesday. So we have been laying, pretty much just laying becalmed for 15 hours. And I mean, we got plenty of provisions and everything, but you do get a little tired of just sitting in a parking lot. And get itching to let go of the parking brake and get this thing moving again. Get some sparkle on the ocean, so maybe we'll finally get some wind here. So I'm going to see if I can get the staysail up and just get her moving. See if we can do that. So our course is basically a broad reach with this wind. And so when you have light winds and then you start steering off the wind, your apparent wind drops. So if you got 6 knots of true wind, your apparent wind is going to be more like 4 knots, which makes it hard on the self-steering wind vane. You might notice that I still have one reef in the mainsail. And you may be wondering why I have the mainsail reefed in such light conditions. And there's a couple of reasons for that. Is when I'm laying becalmed, the mainsail acts as a steadying sail, but it puts a little less strain on things if I put a reef in it. Just reduce the sail area a bit, and it still acts as a steadying sail, just not as much strain on things. The second reason is the balance. Right now, forward, I just have the staysail, and I find that if I'm broad reaching with a full main and I just have the staysail on forward, she has a fair bit of weather helm with that big gaff mainsail. Now I do have a Yankee that goes forward. I have 2 Yankees, and I have an old one, a bigger one, and that does help. I can put that forward and then fly a full main. But what she really needs is a drifter for going off the wind in light airs, which would be a big sail that would be set flying, and the tack would come to the end of the bowsprit, so that would move the center of effort way forward. It would significantly increase the sail plan, and probably then I'd be able to fly a full main, or I might still fly a reef main if the drifter's big enough, and that would probably give her nice balance in these conditions. And I've been putting off purchasing a drifter, mainly just because, you know, I think about a drifter in the summer, and I'll say, well, maybe next spring when I haul out, I'll buy the drifter. But then I spend the winter in a place like Florida or the Caribbean, and you know, practically every day it's blowing 20 knots, and so I'm thinking, what in the world do I need a drifter for? And then you get back in the summer and you get some light air days like this, and you think, I really need a drifter for this boat. So I don't know if it'll actually, if I'll have a persistent enough stretch of light airs that will convince me to pull the trigger and buy a drifter. We'll see. Anyway, I think we're doing okay here. That this wind is not, this wind seems to be gradually building, slowly building. And we're up to 2.5, about 2.5 or so. The self-steering gear is steering, and we're just about steering course. True, we're steering about 050 or so, and our course is 043, and we got about 140 miles to go to the Cape Lookout Bight. So anyway, that's where we're at. It's about 5 in the morning on April 15th. And this weak cold front, quote unquote, just came in with a vengeance. We got winds up nearly gale force. And they've come northerly, so we're not quite able to lay the course in here. So it's going to be quite a pill here to try to get into the bite. Hopefully this will back off a little bit once the front moves offshore. Right now though, we're really getting hammered, so I just went through a whole round of, I'm down to the heavy weather jib and spent about 15 minutes trying to wrestle 2 reefs in the main. So just yeah, there's no easy way here. Present course has got us headed toward Cape Lookout Shoals, so I'm gonna have to try to bring her about, try it on the other tack for a while. Sometimes in these really strong winds, and especially if there's a lot of wave action, I have trouble getting her to come about, because right through your turn there, what'll sometimes happen is you punch into a wave and then the boat loses all of its momentum, and then she just falls back on the same tack. I have to dash forward to untangle probably now the lazy staysail sheet. And strong winds flogging sails will do an amazing amount of mischief in a very short amount of time. Well, the bite is now pretty much dead upwind, and we're beating into about 4-7 right now, which is pretty hard work. Most of the day to tack all the way up here, down to just the double reef main now that we're in flat water, and I can handle her pretty easily, and she will tack under just that double reef main, so that's good. There's the bite. As we approach the bite, we're beginning to get significant lee shelter. You can see how flat the waves are now, and also how much boat speed we've picked up. Just under the double reef main, she's doing well over 5 knots. What really slows a boat down when working to windward is the hobby horsing that results from the boat trying to work through the waves. So you get onto flat water and it becomes a whole nother experience. Well, I'm inside the bite now. There's plenty of room to anchor, so just pick my spot, helm a lee, shoot her up into the wind, and make sure to get that mainsail down quickly so she doesn't start rapidly sailing off in one direction while I'm deploying the anchor. As I go about straightening up, I'm beginning to feel my level of exhaustion. And when I wake up the following morning, the wind is nothing but a zephyr, just gentle ripples lapping against the hull. Hard to imagine just yesterday I was contending with a gale.